even HR itself is not that diverse. So how can even, you know, a HR department that's not even that diverse be able to help departments in general in terms of the people that they're bringing in? Like, how? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alicia Rebecca Parchment and this is HR Talks with Leash. Today I kind of want to talk from a different perspective than what my other videos have been kind of showcasing you. This video is going to talk about HR, and just kind of wanted to come here and just talk about the things that I've found in terms of like the diversity in ethnicity in the HR departments, and the lack of black people that are in senior positions, and how many are in just entry-level kind of roles, and there's no kind of clear path to progression. I want to talk about all that kind of stuff today, just because it kind of suits to what my channel's all about. And I feel like maybe somebody might get educated in terms of the HR department, because if you think about it, in corporations and businesses and stuff, HR is very important in terms of the selection processes. So, you know, even HR itself is not that diverse. So how can even, you know, a HR department that's not even that diverse be able to help departments in general in terms of the people that they're bringing in? Like, how? So yeah, I kind of want to just talk about the things that I've kind of found out about it. Because obviously one day I want to go into the HR profession. I want to be a HR professional, but you know, when you think about it, when you actually think about it, some people are scared of even going in there. You know why? It's not because they don't have the talent, or they don't have the, you know, the drive to do their best in that department. It's the surroundings, it's the people within it. Like, a lot of companies, they don't hire that many black people, period, you know. And you've got to kind of get used to, or you've got to kind of like just, I don't know, try and fit in with the culture. You know, when you see a lot of white people in a you know, company, and they're talking about their kind of culture, it's kind of like you've got to fit in because, oh, I'm the only black person, nobody's gonna get me. That's not fair, you know. So yeah, I just kind of want to talk about that kind of aspect of you know, the racism that we're seeing in this day and age, because what's happened due to, you know, the brutal murder of George Floyd has allowed for us to open up, you know, this door of, you know, systematic racism, institutionalized racism, and how it needs to stop. I'm not saying that we never talked about this before. We've been talking about this, but it's been something that's been a problem for centuries. We need to speak up. We need to speak up, and I thought that it's only right. I've got a YouTube channel. Let me talk on the things that I've educated myself on, what I'm finding out specifically for HR as well, because that's kind of where I want to go, and like what we can do to change it. And maybe if anybody here is watching who's from an organization where their HR department isn't that diverse, what they see from a student perspective, because as I said before, sometimes we don't even want to apply to these jobs because where is the diversity? We don't feel like we're going to even be comfortable. We feel like we are educated enough to do the job to a high standard, but am I comfortable in working in the environment? It's not fair. So I think this is like something that needs to get talked about, because even this YouTube channel, right? I started this YouTube channel because let me be really honest, I haven't seen many black people in terms of being a HR professional, even talking on HR when I type it in the search engine on YouTube. When you type in human resources on YouTube, there's hardly any, you don't really see any black people talking about their experiences. And I read in an article, it was actually by the HR magazine, that HR is quite a white female profession. When is that going to change? Something needs to be done about that, you know. So yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just going off on a tangent. This video doesn't really have much structure because this is just coming from like my heart and like what I've kind of been researching and what I feel I want to just put out there, because it's just not fair on us as black people to be, you know, victims of so much prejudice. It's not fair. And I think that it's really important for us to definitely educate ourselves and see like what we can do, like especially white people. I feel like sometimes, and you know what, if I offend anybody, I'm sorry, but I'm speaking truth. Yeah, so if I'm offending you at any point in this video, then you might as well just not be on it. But I'm just trying to say truth. But yeah, like I feel like white people need to actually educate themselves and reassess situations, especially in like when we're talking about HR now and senior positions. I read in an article that only 7% of senior positions are held by a non-white person. That could be Asian, that could be Latina, that could be literally any background, it could be black. So really, the black people in senior positions is less than 7%, and this article was written in 2019. So I don't feel like that's changed significantly to now. But compared to the junior slash entry level positions, there's 18% of people who are they say non-white, that are in those positions. Now, when we look at it, I feel that there is not a clear pathway, and I haven't even been in an organization. I'm just going off the research and the evidence that I've found, right? So don't come for me, because I haven't been in an organization myself, so I don't have the experience. But from what I've read, it seems that there's no clear pathway into allowing there to be some kind of program development to show how you can progress to senior levels of that kind of position. Why is that? And you know what? I really do feel that it's because a lot of white people who are in those senior positions want people that look like them to fill those positions, which I think is really sad, because us black people, we're very talented. We are very talented people. We fit the description box, but why are we not up there in the higher levels with all those other senior, white executives? Why are we not the executives? Why am I not seeing that many? It's not fair. And when we look at HR, as I said before, I've said this already previously in the video, if companies are supposed to look at HR as like a model, like, HR as a change agent, HR is like, the department that helps the employees to be better people. If you're not seeing black people in those positions, in those senior positions, in those management level positions as well, then what is that? What is that? Why is it that a lot of the in diversity and inclusion, quite a lot of the people who are leading these movements are white people? There's not a diverse range. Like even when I saw, because I was reading the HR magazine, and this was the article. I'm going to link the article down below so you guys can see that I'm not just making this up. Like, this is actually stuff that's happening right now. But in the comment section, a woman said that she was she was like in the HR department for many years in her company, and she was a white female, and there was other white females who were also on the diversity and inclusion kind of section within the HR department. And every time they were talking about diversity, they were always talking about like gender inequalities. Now, I know that that is something that we definitely need to look on, because that's a different topic altogether. Like, there's a lot of men as well in senior positions, and more women need to be in there. But they were always talking about gender inequality. There wasn't much talk about race. There wasn't much talk about, diversity in terms of ethnicity. And that is something that I'm seeing is being swept under the carpet, because it's a difficult conversation. But we have to have these difficult conversations, If we don't have these difficult conversations, then how are we going to make a change, right? So I think it's really important that professionals in HR right now are listening and educating themselves in terms of the Black Lives Matter movement, in what they can see, because all the aspects that people are, we're all concerned about in the Black community, it all relates to every aspect of our lives, right? We don't just see racism in one aspect of our lives, it's everywhere. And specifically for the video that I'm talking about in this channel, in HR, in corporate spaces, in business, in corporations in general, it's important that people who have power, who are up there, who have the power to make the change, are listening and educating themselves on what is going on, because we are uncomfortable in the fact that, like, we can't be ourselves, like, in these organizations, or we're not being heard, or our talent is not being magnified in the way it should be. It's not fair on us. So things need to change. And I'm also Black people as well, we need to support each other. You know, I'm gonna shout out an amazing page that I follow on Instagram and on LinkedIn called Black Women in HR. It's an amazing platform that's literally there to kind of inspire, elevate, motivate Black HR professionals. And they recently did a Zoom kind of meeting webinar kind of thing the other day. And they're looking for mentors as well, who are Black HR professionals. So if there's any Black HR professionals watching this and you want to be a mentor to like young, or not even young, I'm guessing like anybody who wants to be a mentee, then visit the Black Women in HR LinkedIn profile, visit their Instagram, because this is an amazing space to just lift up Black women in HR, because we need to be seen more. We're not seen as much, you know. In so many professions, Black people are such a minority, but there's so much talent out there. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't add up. It just doesn't add up. I don't understand. I don't understand why it doesn't add up, to be honest with you, because there is many talented Black people out there. I just think in general, we need to just educate ourselves. We need to do what we can. We need to be donating. We need to be promoting on our, you know, pages on Instagram, on any kind of social media platform, what is going on. And this has to be a conversation that is had continuously. This is something that's not going to stop, because we've got to do something about this. And we've seen small little shifts. You know, people are starting to react and respond, and we're seeing changes happening, but it's not to the extent that we need it to happen. You know, one day I'm going to have children, and, you know, I don't want them to be in a world where we're still going through the same thing. Something needs to happen now in order for the future to be brighter for our children, and our children's children, and our children's children's children, and so on. So yeah, I just wanted to come on here just to express how, like, I kind of feel about everything, like in terms of HR and just in general. To be honest, I feel like Black people are just not treated with the right respect, you know. And I just don't understand how something can go on for so long. We're in 2020 and still the same issues that we were experiencing years back are surfacing, and not even surfacing, actually continuing, you know. So much needs to be done. There needs so much reform. I was even reading in the article that I'm referring to, they were talking about, you know, there's not really that many speakers of ethnic minority backgrounds that speak at HR engagements and events. And, you know, the people who choose the people to speak. The sweep talks about race under the carpet, especially at these panels. You know, they'll probably address it for like, I don't know, a couple minutes or something, if it's like a long kind of speech. And I don't think it's just not right. It's not right at all, what's going on. And I feel like there just needs to be so much change. And that's why, for me personally, this is one of the reasons why I did start this channel, to be honest. I didn't see many people like me doing or talking about HR on this platform, you know. So if I'm not seeing anybody doing it, I've got to create the content, because for me, this is what I feel I need to do, because I want to be a senior. I want to be a HR manager. I want to be up there. I've got many plans for what I'm trying to do on my journey to success as a HR professional. And it doesn't stop at entry role level, you know. I'm trying to get to the senior positions, and when I get to the senior positions, I want to be that person who allows for a big shift in the terms of how many senior, you know, position HR professionals who are of Black backgrounds there needs to be more of us. And it shouldn't be when I get to that place, because it's going to take me quite a few years to get there. Obviously I need to build, and I need to work on myself. And even me personally, I might go through a lot of, you know, prejudice on my journey. People may, this is the thing, I'm a student right now, and I don't want to be going into workplaces that are treating me in such a way. Why do I have to do that? Why do I have to be subjected to that? It's not fair. And I feel like this is something that needs to change rapidly, not in 10 years time when I'm doing up senior management roles in HR. No. But I can tell you this, when I do get to those positions, I'm going to be doing as much as I can to change that. And that's why I'm working now to be this young, inspiring HR professional, because one day someone might look at this channel and be like, oh wow, she was talking about this when she was a student, and now look at her, look how she's helping so many people. That's what I'd love to get out of this, you know. So yeah, guys, I just thought I'd come and speak to you on the points of racism, and like how, from my reading and research, how HR is not as diverse as it should be, and how more needs to be done to allow for it to be diverse. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoy my content, please like, subscribe and share, guys, and I will see you in my next video.